What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Some great potential news, and I say potential because nothing is set in stone. However, the WBO has ordered a mandatory match between Gary Russell Jr. and Vasyl Lomachenko. As you guys know, Lomachenko, in his second professional fight, went up against the always game tough veteran Orlando Salido, and he had an opportunity to get the title, came up short. He didn't look horrible in the fight. He just wasn't prepared, I guess, for the ruggedness of Salido. And to his credit, he didn't complain, even though Salido was fighting dirty and hitting low numerous times. He just toughed it up, took his loss like a man. And I'm still excited for Lomachenko, just because if he got blown out of the water, that'd be one thing. But he held his own in there in his second professional fight. So that lets you know that the dude has a level of skill. I did see a skill set in there. He just came up short. Maybe he rushed it. He was, it's like, have you ever ordered some food and you think you're starving? You're like, man, I'm starving. And then when you get the food, you could barely eat any of it. And you realize that your appetite was bigger than what was actually needed. So I think Lomachenko, he kind of like jumped the gun a bit by going into a fight with a guy like Salido, who was coming off of an impressive victory over Orlando Cruz, the openly gay fighter. And he has a solid resume. Salido has a solid resume. He's faced Juanma Lopez, destroyed him twice. He's been in there with Mikey Garcia. He's been in there with Marquez. I mean, the guy has a solid resume. So in your second fight, you tried to create history for yourself, which is good. You took a risk, but it just didn't pan out. But I did see a skill set from Lomachenko. Gary Russell Jr. is a fighter that I've always liked. The biggest thing is I don't like his competition. They're moving him along at a snail's pace, and it's just ridiculous. And it's really ridiculous if you think of it, because the two fighters in question are almost polar opposites. You have Gary Russell Jr., who turned pro, I don't even know what year, but he's fought a lot of tomato cans. And then you have Lomachenko, who was perhaps rushed too fast. So it's like the movie Unbreakable, where you had Bruce Willis, who was on one end of the spectrum, and then you had Samuel L. Jackson, fucking Mr. Glass over here. I'm Mr. Glass. And they're on two ends of, like, polar opposites of the spectrum. Like I said, Lomachenko went for a title against not just a bum, not just like a soft opponent that had a belt some kind of way, because it's the alphabet belts. He went against a certified champion in Orlando Salido, but Salido didn't make weight. He lost his belt on the scale, and that freed up the belt, so it's a vacant belt. The WBO featherweight title is up for grabs, and it looks like they're going to give Lomachenko a second chance at it. I really want to see this fight. I've always wanted to see Gary Russell Jr. I mean, he has some of the fastest hands in boxing. Definitely top 5, in my opinion, of active fighters. And it's just about time he stepped up his level of competition, see what these guys are really made of. And Lomachenko, you went in there against Orlando Salido, your second fight. You didn't quite do it. So Gary Russell Jr., another fighter with a good amateur background. And this fight is interesting to me, really interesting. And we'll see what Lomachenko's made of, and we'll see what Gary Russell Jr. is made of. One thing with Gary Russell Jr. that has me boggled a bit is when I see fighters like Deontay Wilder, Gary Russell Jr., Canelo at a point, when I see fighters who have kind of a padded record and they're being brought along really slow, it makes me kind of worried. It's like, do their handlers see something that we don't know about? Do they have a suspect chin? I mean, these are all stuff that get answered eventually, but I don't really know what Gary Russell Jr.'s chin is like, because I haven't seen him in there against elite competition. And taking a punch from someone who's more calculated, or they've proven their worth and their stripes, they've earned their stripes, is a big difference than getting in there with Jose Tomayo, or whatever the fuck the dude's name is. I don't even know his name. That's how whack he is. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good fight. It's a good fight, and it's about time that Gary Russell has a step up in competition. And it's kind of like Gary Russell Jr. is being punished for having such a easy schedule. Now you're going in there, you know what I mean? You're getting this potential fight if they can hash it out and make the deal. You've had such a tough schedule. Now you're just going in there against a guy who's like 397 fights with one loss as an amateur, and then he went in for a title in his second appearance. So you're going in against a guy who's the goods according to everybody in his amateur background. So it's going to be real interesting, and only one person is going to be victorious, and I really want to see who that person's going to be. And I think this will really show us who's who. And if Lomachenko beats Gary Russell Jr. and he does it like easily, then this dude is a real potential threat, and I can't wait for his future. Same thing with Gary Russell Jr. If you take this guy with this amateur background with one loss against Orlando Salido, and then you step up and you demolish him, then I'm going to be really impressed. So whoever's victorious, I will be impressed. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this goes through and we get to see it. So let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for this? Do you want to see it? I just, like I've complained about this long enough. Gary Russell Jr. needs to step it up. I like him. He's a likable person. I like his style. It's just, he's very hard to gauge. I mean, anybody could look spectacular if you're fighting, you know what I mean? Just people I went to middle school with. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.